All right, the Philadelphia Eagles are officially back on the field for OTAs. And if you're a fan of this team, buckle up because there's a lot to unpack. We're talking early storylines, breakout candidates, under the radar players, and even a first crack at the 53-man roster. But let's start with the vibe right now. It's late May heading into June, the sun's out, players are getting reps in, and the buzz is real. While it might feel like the offseason is dragging for NFL coaches and fans alike, these OTA sessions are like the first spark before the fire of training camp. And for the Eagles, there's one name that absolutely needs to be circled on every fan's list. Drew Mukuba. Let's talk schedule first. Philly has 6 OTA sessions slotted, May 27th and 28th, May 30th, June 2nd and 3rd, and then again on June 5th. That's 6 out of a possible 10 sessions allowed by the NFL. Head coach Nick Sirianni made it clear. He's going for quality over quantity. No pads, no live contact, just clean installs, fundamentals, and chemistry building. It's a strategic choice that shows how much Sirianni trusts his veterans and wants to keep his guys healthy heading into training camp. Still, with things like 7-on-7s, 9-on-7s, and even some 11-on-11 work, there's enough meat on the bone to start evaluating how certain players are fitting into this new-look roster. Now, about that name you need to watch. Drew Mukuba. If you haven't heard it yet, you will. The rookie safety out of Clemson is already generating some serious chatter. No, there's no full contact in these OTAs, but you can still see who flies around, who communicates like a pro, and who just seems to have it. And Mukuba has that it factor. The dude plays like his hair's on fire. Former coaches say he understands pre-snap reads better than most veterans. NFL scouts have even gone as far as saying he could be the best safety, not just in this draft class, but potentially the best over the last 3 classes combined. That's not just high praise, that's elite company. You can hear the comparisons. Already, some are throwing out names like Devin McCourty, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Bob Sanders, even Earl Thomas. Are we getting ahead of ourselves? Maybe, but think about it. When a rookie shows that kind of processing speed, range, and intensity this early, you take notice, especially in a Vic Fangio defense, where discipline and versatility are everything. Mukuba fits the bill. Fangio doesn't need flash. He needs football IQ and reliability on the back end. And if Mukuba continues trending the way he started, we might be talking about him as a full-time starter sooner than anyone expected. But it's not just about Mukuba. There's an energy building across the roster. For instance, Devonta Smith has been grinding this offseason, already posting intense workout clips before the sun even rises. That man's in the gym by 5 a.m. working on strength, explosion, and footwork. We already know about his route running, but if he's leveling up physically, watch out! Then there's A.J. Brown. The guy's training like he's a rookie trying to make the team. Not a pro bowler with a monster contract. He's been spotted pushing himself to the limit in one of the most intense training environments you can imagine, just to stay in that dog mentality. It's not about flashy Instagram clips or media hype. It's about staying hungry, and AJ is setting the tone for the entire offense. When you got your 2 best receivers going that hard in May, it sets the standard for everybody else. And speaking of underappreciated guys, how about Moro Ohomo? Defensive tackle, former 7th rounder, quietly outsnapped Jordan Davis last year and had the 2nd highest pass rush win rate behind only Chris Jones. That's not a fluke. That's production. Ojomo is poised for a massive increase in reps following Milton Williams' exit, and lining up next to a force like Jalen Carter doesn't hurt either. Don't be shocked if Ojomo becomes one of those breakout names everyone's talking about midseason. It's the kind of storyline Philly thrives on. Underdog steps up, becomes a monster. So let's pivot into the early roster construction. Quarterback. Room is shaping up with Jalen Hurts leading the way. No surprise there. But behind him, Tanner McKee and Kyle McCord are generating buzz. McKee looked sharp in limited preseason action last year, and McCord is getting a real opportunity to push for a roster spot, especially with his rookie contract giving the team more control. Some fans are bringing up Dorian Thompson-Robinson as a potential dark horse, but as of now, it looks like McCord has the inside track. The backfield is where it starts to get juicy. Saquon Barkley, Will Shipley, A.J. Dillon, and Ben Van Sumeren. Shipley has been labeled the clear number 2 by some insiders, and despite Dillon being brought in early in free agency, there's a legitimate shot he could miss the final cut. But come on, this is a team built to run the ball. You take every weapon you can get. Dillon may have missed last season with a stinger, but if he's healthy, he brings a different kind of bruising element that complements Shipley's speed and Barkley's all-around game. Then there's Avery Williams, listed as a wide receiver and special teamer, but really he's a Swiss Army knife. The coaching staff can't stop talking about the guy. He's been stashed into the wideout group alongside A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jahan Dotson, and rookie Johnny Wilson. That's a stacked room, which unfortunately pushes someone like Anaya Smith to the outside looking in. But Williams brings return value, gadget play potential, and special teams prowess. He checks too many boxes to ignore. Tight end is a bit more straightforward. Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra are locks, with Kylan Granson as the likely third. Some are still backing Harrison Bryant, but Granson's blocking ability, plus his athletic upside, gives him the edge. Now, when it comes to the offensive line, Jeff Stoutland is going to keep a deep unit. You've got your starters, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, and Lane Johnson. Add in backups like Keenan Green, Kendall Lamb, and Drew Kendall, and there's a strong nucleus, then rounded out with developmental prospects. Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams and Trevor Keegan sneaking into that final spot. Don't be shocked if some of these younger guys end up stashed on IR or the practice squad using Howie Roseman's phantom injury approach to roster flexibility. Defensively, the edge group is loaded with talent and question marks. Bryce Huff is a wild card. His name has popped up in trade rumors, and while nothing is imminent, the idea isn't totally far-fetched. Still, for now, pencil him in with Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Azeez Ojulari, Josh Uche, Antoine Powell-Ryland, and Patrick Johnson. Losing Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham leaves a leadership void, but this younger core has the juice to get after quarterbacks in waves. On the interior defensive line, the group is fierce. Jalen Carter leads the way, flanked by Jordan Davis, Ojomo, Ty Robinson, and Thomas Booker. That's a blend of power, quickness, and rotation depth. And as long as Booker holds off guys like Gabe Hall and Byron Young, he could carve out a key. Linebacker is surprisingly stable. All-Pro Zach Bond, rookie Jihad Campbell, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and Smile Mondon form the core. Nakobe Dean is likely to start the year on the PUP list, so the numbers make sense for now. But once he's healthy, that could change fast. At cornerback, the top 5 are set. Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Kaylee Ringo, Adoree Jackson, and rookie McKinstry. The 6th spot is the battle. Eli Ricks is the name everyone's watching. The kid has flashed potential and made splash plays, but consistency is key. Still, knowing Howie Roseman's tendencies, it's hard to imagine them letting him walk. Especially with secondary depth always in demand. Safety is where things get lean. Reed Blankenship, Mukuba, and Sidney Brown are the trio for now. They could absolutely add a fourth, especially if a veteran like Justin Simmons becomes available. But for now, the youth movement is real. Special teams rounds out with Jake Elliott at kicker, Braden Mann at punter, and Charlie Hewlett as the long snapper after the team moved on from Rick Lovato. So that's the early look. The bones of the 2025 roster are starting to come together, but nothing is locked in. Between now and camp, expect a lot of movement, some surprises, and maybe even a trade or two. But what's clear is that this team is loaded with potential, hungry leadership, and explosive talent on both sides of the ball. Keep your eyes on Mukuba, stay hyped about AJ and Devonta, and don't sleep on guys like Ojomo, Shipley, or McKee, because every year there's a name that comes out of nowhere and turns into a difference maker. Maybe this year there'll be a few. And as we keep rolling deeper into the heart of this offseason phase, it's not just about who looks good in shorts and helmets, it's about who is showing signs of understanding the scheme, fitting into the locker room culture, and taking steps that could define the regular season ahead. That's what makes OTAs so deceptively important. Sure, the pads aren't on, and the real collisions are still weeks away, but the mental reps, communication, and chemistry being built right now, They're gold. This is the foundation phase, where rookies start soaking in the pro playbook, veterans reassert themselves, and new leaders start emerging in subtle ways. Take Jalix Hunt, for example. Not the biggest name coming out of the draft, but from everything we're hearing, he's already making an impression as a smart, explosive athlete who could end up being a real contributor on special teams and potentially earn rotational snaps off the edge. Hunt was known in college for his relentlessness and ability to bend around the corner, and if that translates to the next level, we're talking about a guy who could help ease the transition away from older vets like Brandon Graham, and we haven't even gotten into the ripple effect Vic Fangio's system is already having on this defense. The complexity and discipline required in this scheme are not for everyone. It's not built on hero ball. It's built on doing your job perfectly every snap, trusting the coverage structure, and making offenses beat you methodically. That demands intelligence and buy-in, especially from the back seven. So when a guy like Mukuba shows signs of thriving in that system right away, it speaks volumes. And that's not just hype. It's coming from the coaches, the veterans, and guys around the league who've watched his tape. Fangio is known for maximizing defensive backs. Whether it's disguising coverages, baiting quarterbacks into bad decisions, or using his safeties interchangeably to keep offenses guessing, he needs smart, athletic, versatile players. And Mukuba seems to check every single box. What's even more intriguing is how quickly some of the younger players are adapting to his terminology and adjustments. Communication between safeties and corners looks sharp already, even this early in the process. You can tell there's a quiet confidence starting to develop. That's dangerous. Meanwhile, on offense, one of the biggest under-the-radar stories might just be how this offensive line is shaping up. Everyone knows about the starting five. They're arguably the best unit in football when healthy, but it's the depth and development behind them that could end up being the unsung heroes of the season. Cameron Williams and Miles Hinton are two developmental tackles who, by all accounts, are progressing faster than expected. Williams in particular has turned heads with his footwork and physicality. He's raw, sure, but there's real potential. And when you got a coach like Jeff Stoutland mentoring you every step of the way, anything is possible. Stoutland's track record with turning mid-round and undrafted linemen into high-level starters is second to none in the league. Over at running back, one of the more heated internal debates might just be the Will Shipley versus A.J. Dillon conversation. On paper, Dillon has the NFL experience and the body type to be that bruising power back in short yardage situations. But Shipley is versatile, explosive, and fits more naturally into the type of spacing this offense thrives in. If you watch how the Eagles use the screen game, how they get backs into space with pre-snap motion and misdirection, Shipley might end up being more dangerous within that framework. It wouldn't be a shock if he claims more snaps as the season goes on. That doesn't necessarily mean Dillon won't contribute, but the touch distribution could look a lot different than people expect. Then there's the quarterback battle behind Jalen Hurts. It's early, but don't sleep on Kyle McCord. With his arm talent and quick release, he's putting himself firmly in the mix for the backup role. McKee might still have the edge from experience in the system, but McCord's presence is being felt already. You watch him throw, and you see why he was so highly regarded coming out of high school and had flashes in college. If he takes to coaching and continues to stack good days together, the Eagles might have a real decision to make. Plus, we know how vital a reliable backup QB is in this league. One play, one awkward landing, and suddenly the season's riding on your number two. The Eagles have learned that the hard way in years past. And of course, we can't ignore the ripple effect of Saquon Barkley being added to this offense. Not only is he a game changer with the ball in his hands, but his presence changes how defenses line up. You can't stack the box the same way you would against a more predictable run-first back. You have to respect Barkley's ability to hit the edge, to split out wide, to catch a swing pass and take it 50 yards. That opens everything up for Jalen Hurts. The RPO game gets deadlier, play action becomes more effective. Even the spacing in the red zone improves because defenses are forced to hesitate. Every second of indecision Barkley creates is a window for Hurts, Smith, or Brown to exploit. It's a multiplier effect. Speaking of Devonta Smith, he continues. to be one of the most locked-in professionals on this roster. The work he's putting in this offseason is nothing short of elite. And it's not just about catching balls or running routes. It's about becoming stronger at the point of attack, more efficient in his breaks, and more durable through contact. His footwork is already world-class, but adding strength to that frame makes him even harder to press at the line. Pair that with A.J. Brown's physical dominance, and this receiver duo remains one of the nastiest in the league. But don't forget about Jahan Dotson. With his suddenness and precise route tree, he could carve out a real niche as a reliable third option. If the offensive line holds up and the run game delivers as expected, Dotson will see more one-on-one matchups than he's ever seen before. And he has the skills to capitalize. And as much as the offense is loaded with firepower, the special teams unit quietly deserves some respect too. Jake Elliott remains one of the most consistent kickers in the league, and Braden Mann provides solid hang time and placement on punts. The new long snapper, Charlie Hewlett, has some big shoes to fill, but early reports are promising, and special teams could be where guys like Patrick Johnson and Avery Williams secure their roster spots. Johnson has that edge rush burst, but also plays with a level of discipline that makes him valuable in kick coverage. Williams? He's electric with a ball in his hands. And if the return game becomes a priority, he could end up being one of the most valuable pieces on this team that no one's talking about. Another name to keep on the radar, Ty Robinson, a monster up front with the kind of motor that defensive line coaches drool over. He doesn't just take up space, he creates chaos. And next to Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, he might not face double teams often, which makes him even more dangerous. If Robinson keeps trending upward, this defensive line rotation could end up being the most dominant in the league. Think about what that does for everyone behind him. Linebackers can shoot gaps more confidently. Safeties can read plays with a half second more clarity. It's all connected. As far as competition battles go, the cornerback room might be the most cutthroat. You've got blue chip rookies like Quinion Mitchell and Kool-Aid McKinstry coming in hot. Kaylee Ringo is still developing, but the physical tools are off the charts. Adoree Jackson brings veteran savvy and stability. And then there's Eli Ricks, a player with just enough splash plays to keep him in the conversation. What hurts him is consistency. One day he looks like a future star. The next he's a step late or out of position. But Howie Roseman has always believed in cornerback depth. And it's hard to imagine him letting a talent like Ricks walk if there's any chance he continues to grow. And with all of these position groups taking shape, the overall roster construction begins to feel clearer. Yes, there are still camp battles to settle, and injuries or surprise performances could shift everything in a heartbeat. But the bones are strong. The foundation is built on high character, high ceiling players with coaching staffs who know how to get the most out of them. The blend of youth and experience is nearly perfect. The schemes on both sides of the ball are designed to put playmakers in position to succeed. And maybe most importantly, the hunger is back. That's what stood out the most through these early OTA sessions. The hunger. You can't fake it. You can't coach it. Either you have a locker room full of guys who are chasing greatness, or you don't. And from all the signs coming out of Philly right now, this team is locked in. From the top veterans to the undrafted rookies, there's a clear tone being set. Compete every day, earn everything, and leave no doubt. The season may be months away, but the mindset is already championship level. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors swirling around the NFL have ignited a frenzy among fans and analysts alike. Tyreek Hill, widely regarded as one of the most electrifying playmakers in the league, could be on the verge of becoming the biggest signing in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles. Though nothing has been confirmed by official sources, whispers from inside league circles and speculative chatter across social media platforms suggest that the Eagles may be preparing a blockbuster move that would send shockwaves through the NFL landscape. If the speculation proves accurate, Hill's arrival would represent a seismic shift for the Eagles franchise. Known for his blistering speed, game-breaking ability, and all-pro pedigree, Hill could instantly elevate Philadelphia's offense to one of the most feared units in the league. His potential pairing with star quarterback Jalen Hurts has fans imagining a dynamic duo that could dominate defenses for years to come. The possibility of Hill lining up alongside established talents such as A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith adds further intrigue to this tantalizing scenario. While Eagles front office executives have remained tight-lipped about any ongoing negotiations, sources close to the situation hint at the franchise's aggressive pursuit of offensive firepower in an effort to reclaim Super Bowl glory. The idea of bringing in a player of Hill's caliber signals an all-in mentality from the organization, determined to build on recent successes and cement their status as perennial contenders. Skeptics argue that the logistical hurdles, including salary cap constraints and potential trade demands from Hill's current team, could complicate such an ambitious move. Nevertheless, the mere possibility of Tyreek Hill donning the midnight green has been enough to ignite passionate debates among fans, sports talk radio hosts, and NFL insiders alike. The Eagles have a storied history filled with bold moves, and this rumored pursuit fits squarely within that tradition. As the off-season drama continues to unfold, all eyes will be on Philadelphia to see if this buzz materializes into reality. For now, it remains one of the most captivating what-ifs of the NFL world. Could Tyreek Hill truly become the greatest signing in Eagles history? Only time will tell. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.